let's talk about a feeling I'm pretty sure we all know. That little voice in your head, the one that blames you for not being productive enough. Well, we're going to explore a really powerful mindset shift here, moving away from all that self-criticism and into something called intellectual alignment.
Have you ever found yourself just staring at a task, one you know you should be doing, but you just can't? And right in that moment of frustration, you think, oh, I'm just so undisciplined. It's such a heavy label we slap on ourselves, isn't it? Or maybe your go-to word is lazy, or a procrastinator, or maybe unfocused. Whatever the label is, it all comes from the same place. This belief that our inability to focus is some kind of personal flaw. We beat ourselves up totally convinced that if we just had more willpower, everything would be fine.
Yeah, this whole undisciplined feeling, it just traps us in this really frustrating loop. We set a goal, our focus wanders off, and then we waste all our energy blaming ourselves instead of trying to figure out what's really going on. We think the problem is us. But what if it's not about our character at all?
And that brings us to this huge idea we really need to tear down, the discipline myth. The belief that productivity is all about just gritting your teeth and using brute force willpower. But the real reason you lose focus? Oh, it's way more interesting, and it has a lot less to do with discipline than you'd ever think. So this right here, this slide flips the whole script. On the one hand, you have the myth, my will is weak. But on the other hand, here's the truth, my work lacks meaning. And this is the absolute game changer. Your brain isn't failing you, it's sending you a signal, a really important one, that the task just doesn't connect with what it's built to do.
See, your brain isn't some lazy muscle that needs to be whipped into shape. Not at all. It's this incredibly sophisticated meaning-seeking engine. It's literally designed to solve problems, to learn, to grow, and to connect what you're doing to some kind of bigger purpose. So when a task feels pointless or disconnected, your brain actively fights back. That feeling of distraction? That's not a weakness. It's a feature, not a bug. So, if discipline isn't the real goal, then what is? It's this, intellectual alignment. This is the state we're actually aiming for. It's that sweet spot where the work you're doing connects with your brain's deep-seated need for purpose and meaning. When you're in alignment, focus isn't a battle. It's just what happens naturally. And you can totally see the contrast here. Your brain pushes back against pointless, repetitive stuff. It just checks out when the instructions are vague. But give it a juicy, complex challenge, an opportunity to actually learn something, man, that's when it lights up. That's when you find that incredible state of flow. Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, right? But how do we actually do it? How do we achieve this alignment? Let's get practical. The goal is to stop fighting your brain and start working with it. It's really a simple three-step path. First up, inquire. Before you even start that task you're dreading, just stop and ask yourself, why does this actually matter? Second, connect. Find a way to link that task to something you genuinely care about, a big goal, a personal value, a skill you're trying to build. And third, if you're still stuck, you reframe. Turn it into a game. Set a timer and try to beat it. Redesign it to engage that problem-solving part of your brain. And when you start doing all this, it leads to a really profound new mindset. You stop seeing a lack of focus as some sort of character flaw, and you start seeing it for what it is, a valuable piece of data. Your distraction is just a signal, a clue that there's a mismatch between the task and what your brain needs. You move from a place of self-blame to one of, well, strategic self-understanding. So the biggest takeaway is right here on the screen. The answer isn't to just grit your teeth and demand more from yourself. The real solution is to become an architect of your own engagement. Start designing your work for more meaning. So I'll leave you with this question. Think about that one thing on your to-do list, the one you've been avoiding. Instead of blaming yourself for not wanting to do it, how can you apply those 3 steps we talked about? Inquire, connect, or reframe. What's one task you can try to realign right now, today?